Creative Visualization by Shakti, Gawain. How creative visualization works. In order to understand how creative visualization works, it's useful to look at several interrelated principles. The physical universe is energy. The scientific world is beginning to discover what metaphysical and spiritual teachers have known for centuries. Our physical universe is not really composed of any matter at all. Its basic component is a kind of force or essence that we call energy. Things appear to be solid and separate from one another on the level at which our physical senses normally perceive them. On finer levels, however, atomic and subatomic levels, seemingly solid matter is seen as smaller and smaller particles within particles, which eventually turn out to be just pure energy. Physically, we are all energy, and everything within and around us is made up of energy. We are all part of one great energy field. Things that we perceive to be solid and separate are in reality just various forms of our essential energy, which is common to all. We are all one, even in a literal physical sense. The energy is vibrating at different rates of speeds, and thus has different qualities, from finer to denser. Thought is a relatively fine, light form of energy, and therefore very quick and easy to change. Matter is relatively dense, compact energy, and therefore slower to move and change. Within matter, there is great variation as well. Living flesh is relatively fine, changes quickly, and is easily affected by many things. A rock is a much denser form, slower to change, and more difficult to affect. Yet, even rock is eventually changed and affected by the fine, light energy of water, for example. All forms of energy are interrelated and can affect one another. Energy is magnetic. One law of energy is this: energy of a certain quality or vibration tends to attract energy of a similar quality and vibration. Thoughts and feelings have their own magnetic energy that attracts energy of a similar nature. We can see this principle at work, for instance, when we accidentally run into someone we've just been thinking of, or happen to pick up a book that contains exactly the perfect information we need at that moment. Form follows idea. Thought is a quick, light, mobile form of energy. It manifests instantaneously, unlike the denser forms, such as matter. When we create something, we always create it first in thought form. A thought or idea always precedes manifestation. I think I'll make dinner is the idea that precedes creation of a meal. I want a new dress precedes going and buying one. I need a job precedes finding one, and so on. An artist first has an idea or inspiration, then creates a painting. A builder first has a design, then builds a house. The idea is like a blueprint. It creates an image of the form, which then magnetizes and guides the physical energy to flow into that form, and eventually manifests on the physical plane. The same principle holds true even if we do not take direct physical action to manifest our ideas. Simply having an idea or thought, holding it in your mind, is an energy that will tend to attract and create that form on the material plane. If you constantly think of illness, you may eventually become ill. If you believe yourself to be beautiful, you become so. Unconscious idea and feelings held inside of us operate in the same way. The law of radiation and attraction. This is the principle that whatever you put into the universe will be reflected back to you. As you sow, so shall you reap. What this means from a practical standpoint is that we always attract into our lives whatever we think about the most, believe in most strongly, expect on the deepest level, and or imagine most vividly. When we are negative and fearful, insecure, or anxious, we often attract the very experiences, situations, or people that we are seeking to avoid. If we are basically positive in attitude, expecting and envisioning pleasure, satisfaction, and happiness, we tend to attract and create people, situations, and events that conform to our positive expectations. So consciously imagining what we want can help us to manifest it in our lives. Using creative visualization. The process of change does not occur on superficial levels through mere positive thinking. It involves exploring, discovering, and changing our deepest, most basic attitudes towards life. That is why learning to use creative visualization can become an experience of deep and meaningful growth. In the process, we often discover ways in which we have been holding ourselves back, blocking ourselves from achieving satisfaction and fulfillment in our lives through our fears and unconscious beliefs. Once seen clearly, these limiting attitudes can often be dissolved through the creative visualization process. leaving space for us to find and live in a natural state of greater happiness, fulfillment, and love. At first, you may practice creative visualization at specific times for specific goals. As you get more in the habit of using it and begin to trust the results it can bring you, you will find that it becomes an integral part of your thinking process. It becomes a continuous awareness, a state of consciousness in which you know that you are the constant creator of your life. That is the ultimate point of creative visualization, to make every moment of our lives a moment of wondrous creation in which we are just naturally choosing the best, the most beautiful, the most fulfilling lives we can imagine. A simple exercise in creative visualization. Here is a simple exercise in the basic technique of creative visualization. First, think of something you would like. For this exercise, choose something simple, something that you can easily imagine attaining. It might be an object you would like to have, an event you would like to have happen, a situation in which you'd like to find yourself, or some circumstances in your life you'd like to improve. Get in a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Relax your body completely, starting from your toes and moving up to your scalp. Think of relaxing each muscle in your body in turn, letting all tension flow out of your body. Breathe deeply and slowly from your belly. Count down slowly from 10 to 1, feeling yourself getting more deeply relaxed with each count. When you feel deeply relaxed, start to imagine the thing you want exactly as you would like it. If it is an object, imagine yourself with the object, using it, admiring it, enjoying it, showing it to your friends. If it is a situation or event, imagine yourself there and everything happening just as you want it to. You may imagine what people are saying and any details that make it more real to you. You may take a relatively short or quite a few minutes to imagine this. Whatever feels best to you, have fun with it. It should be a thoroughly enjoyable experience, like a child daydreaming about what he wants for his birthday. Now, keep the idea or image still in your mind. Mentally, make some very positive, affirmative statements to yourself, aloud or silently as you prefer, about it, such as, "Here I am, spending a wondrous weekend in the mountains. What a beautiful vacation." Or, "I love the view from my spacious new apartment." Or, "I'm learning to love and accept myself as I am." These positive statements called affirmations are a very important part of creative visualization, which I discuss in more details later. If you like, you can end your visualization with the firm statement to yourself: "This, or something better, now manifests for me in totally satisfying and harmonious ways, for the highest good of all concerned." This statement leaves room for something different and even better than you had originally envisioned happening, and serves as a reminder to you that this process only functions for the mutual benefit of all. If doubt or contradictory thoughts arise, don't resist them or try to prevent them. This will tend to give them a power they don't otherwise have. Just let them flow through your consciousness, acknowledge them, and return to your positive statements and images. Do this process only as long as you find it enjoyable and interesting. It could be 5 minutes or half an hour. Repeat every day or as often as you can. As you see, the basic process is relatively simple. Using it really effectively, however, usually requires some understanding and refinement. It's important to relax. It's important to relax deeply when you are first learning to use creative visualization. When your body and mind are deeply relaxed, your brainwave pattern actually changes and becomes slower. This deeper, slower level is commonly called the alpha level, while your usual busy waking consciousness is called the beta level, and much research is being done on its effects. The alpha level has been found to be a very helpful state of consciousness because of its relaxing effect on the mind and body. And interestingly enough, it has been found to be far more effective than the more active theta level in creating real changes in the so-called objective world through the use of visualization. What this means for our practical purposes is that if you learn to relax deeply and do creative visualization, you may be able to make far more effective changes in your life than you would by thinking, worrying, planning, and trying to manipulate things and people. If you have any particular way that you are accustomed to relaxing deeply or entering a quiet meditative state, by all means, use that method. Otherwise, you may wish to continue using the method I described in the previous chapter, breathing slowly and deeply, relaxing each muscle in your body in turn, and counting down from 10 to 1 slowly. If you have any trouble physically relaxing, you might want to seek instructions in yoga, meditation, or stress reduction, which will be helpful in this regard. Of course, a side benefit of all of this is that you will find deep relaxation helpful and beneficial mentally, emotionally, and physically. It is especially good to do creative visualization at night just before sleeping or in the morning just after awakening, because at those times the mind and body are already deeply relaxed and receptive. You might like to do it while laying in the bed, but if you tend to fall asleep, it is best to sit up on the edge of the bed or in a chair in a comfortable position with your spine straight and balanced. Having your spine straight helps the energy flow and makes it easier to get a deep alpha wave pattern. If it is possible for you, a short period of meditation and creative visualization done at midday will relax and renew you and cause your day to flow more smoothly.